Hello and welcome to Cruise 5. Our guest today is Wambali Mkandawire. He is a pastor with Tizenge Community, but you all know him as one of the most prolific and popular musicians in Malawi. Wambali Mkandawire, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We know you as Mte or Mteweti Wambali Mkandawire. What is Mteweti?
Servant.
Servant. Servant of who?
Okay.
Servant of God. So you are now a pastor, but we knew you as Mteweti a long time ago. So you must have started a long time ago being a servant of God.
Well, since I gave my life to Christ in 1978, it was a call to serve Him and preaching and teaching His word. And I've been doing that. It's just that people didn't know. So when they heard about my music, and people sort of got excited with the music. But I've never stopped sharing the word and preaching and teaching. And it's only when I started setting up work in the village that perhaps I got more, people became aware of my preaching and teaching ministry. But most people in town, they just know me as a musician.
Mteweti, how did this name come about? Did people just start calling you Mteweti, or were you named Mteweti from the start?
No, I think it's, to me, I see it as God's prompting.
Okay.
I think as soon as when I started serving the Lord, I was conscious of titles. But by that time, we didn't have the titles that we have now. At that time,
like bishop and
the bishops
prophet.
Were there. The bishops were there, but they were not.
Yeah,
there
but not like the
them.
type we know now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think it was God's promptings. Not that there's anything wrong with people having these titles.
All right.
But for me, it wouldn't have sat well with my calling.
Okay.
That if I had a title that is very sort of high up there, so I decided I'll call myself by a title that speaks of someone who's serving than someone who's to be served. But also I was running away from the celebrity thing. I wanted to have something that when the celebrity thing comes up, it sort of neutralizes it, so that I'm still seen as an ordinary human being.
Well, it didn't help because you still ended up being a celebrity. But we're getting to that. Before we get to that, I just wanted to know more about you. Where were you born?
I was born in Congo.
In Congo?
Yes.
How did it happen? I mean, I know you are a Malawian.
My grandparents went to Congo.
Okay.
That's on my mother's side.
All right.
So my mother was having problem. I think she miscarried twice. So my grandparents asked her to just change the environment.
Okay.
So when they moved to Congo with my dad, that's where I was born. That's why they gave me an English name and a Swahili name. So this
what was the English name?
Greenwood, but
Greenwood.
Yeah, so I had to drop it.
I didn't know you're Greenwood.
They used to call me that, but I dropped it. But
so what's the Swahili? Is Wambali a Swahili
name? Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
I always thought it's a Tumbuka name somehow.
No, Wambali means distance. So
distance.
Wambali means the one from a distance. Basically, they were saying we had to move to a far land to have a son.
All right. Do you remember where exactly it was? Was it in Congo?
Yeah, those days it was called Jadoville.
Jadoville.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, music. How did you get introduced to music? I think each one of us has got their own way. Probably someone has a dad that likes music, or they like hanging out with people who like music. How did you get introduced to music?
Well, as I said, that we live between Congo and Rhodesia, southern Rhodesia, Zambia now. Yes. My grandmother was basically key because my grandmother was a Protestant.
Okay.
And she was very aware, I think, because Congo at that time was under the Belgians, so the Catholic Church was very strong. And I think she wanted to keep her identity as a Protestant.
Yes.
So she would always, but of course, she loved God and she loved to sing, she loved to pray. So even if it wasn't for that reason, she would still do it because she kept doing it even when we came back to Malawi. Yeah. But while we were in Congo, I think she was even more aware that we should be introduced to Protestants' way of praying, like closing our eyes. Yeah. And she was also aware that we should be taught the hymns. Yeah. So she started teaching us hymns when we were children. Okay. But she would balance up. She would also teach us the fable songs from home. And
Yeah.
she would tell us stories and Kalulu and all that.
Yes.
And she would tell us up. So there are days when she would okay, we would just sit down and hear stories from
Yeah. From Malawi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there are times when, but every night we had to sing the hymns. And she had to pray with us. So that's my grandmother. That's my mother's mother.
Yes.
But also my grandfather. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard him sing, but he always bought records. He would always buy all the latest music in Congo.
He was a music man.
Yeah, so in those days we used gramophones. So he
Yes.
used to buy gramophones.
Yeah.
He used to buy records.
Yeah.
And so we had almost every popular record in Congo. We had it, and Congo was very popular. Contemporary music had always picking up because of the introduction of records, and so there are a lot of Congolese musicians were coming up.
Yes.
So we'd have that music in our home, and once in a while we'd sit as a family, and it's Christmas. On any other day that we thought today let's listen to some music, then we'd start pumping.
And on the gramophone.
Right.
What kind of music do you like listening to? Do you have a particular genre of music that you like, or you're more like anything that comes
I think
by?
when you grow up, you also go with the wind. I mean, whatever is popular, you plug into it. Whatever is popular, plug into it. So I've gone through those phases, and then most of them they form your taste of music.
Yeah.
And there's a time when a particular taste of music becomes their music,
Yeah.
and you don't listen to any
other
And those who
music.
don't listen to that, you don't think they're cool. So
Yeah.
we went through that. But later on, you begin to see some of this old music
There's
is
more
not
out
bad
there.
after all, and you discover the different genres and different styles, and then you begin to like everything from everywhere. So
Yeah.
I have that's how I am now. I love music from different parts of the world and different styles. I'm into classical, I'm into jazz, I'm into Afro, pop rock music. I'm into all sorts depending on how I feel at that particular time.
Let's put that to the test and see what your first choice is going to be.
Okay, but let me say that now I think I am, at this moment,
Yes.
I've plugged it more into I'm into Hebrew music.
Already?
Hebraic music, and I'm also plugging more into Ethiopian music. So these are the things that I'm.
Hebrew?
Yes.
I don't speak a word in Hebrew.
Well, but yeah, for me it's because of I'm also into the alliance with Israel. I'm a great supporter of Israel. So so I'm discovering also what they're doing in terms of music.
So, what is the first choice going to be?
It's by a Hebrew singer, Joshua Aaron. It's Kadosh Atah.
Kadosh Atah by Joshua Aaron.
לפניך אני משתחווה על ברכיי, נותן לך סמכות על כל ימיי, אהלל אותך לנצח כי אתה אדוני, אתה לבדך ישוע שמחת חיי, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש אתה, קדוש, קדוש אתה, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש אתה, קדוש, קדוש אתה. Worship before you, Lord. I'm down on my bodies, giving you all my days, my God, my King. I will praise you forever, Lord, for you are Adonai. You alone, Yeshua, are the joy of my life. Kadosh, 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 Ata. Kadosh, Kadosh, Ata. Kadosh, 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 Ata. Kadosh, Kadosh, Ata.
We bless your name.
You, as a musical artist, what point did you say, I think I've got this art in me and I think it's time I put it to use? Because now you started recording and performing. When did this exactly happen?
It's a long journey because when you, as you asked me, where did I grab
Yes.
a child? It was in Law.
Yes.
So when you grab Law in the 60s, you didn't think you're going to, you didn't think music was a career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also in those days we lived by, Law was great fun. We liked fishing and so our lives, I thought I would live all my life at Law. So there was no, and I was singing in the village like everybody else. So it wasn't, I didn't think it was a career.
Yeah.
Of course, in school, I would sing in school activities, and then I think when my uncle was involved, my uncle was a politician.
Okay.
And he was very involved with people like Kanyamachumi.
Okay.
So he was also involved in the campaigns and stuff. And during the colonial transition from colonialism. So when he would come to Mlowo, he would come with Kanyamachumi and they would sing and perform. He sang with Dorothy Masuka, he even sang with Miriam Makeba.
Wow.
Yes, when
Wow.
he was in Zambia. So, so he was that kind of musician. So because he was such a great singer and he danced a lot, he danced his own music, he was he do rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the home Mlowo at the meetings, people go berserk because they hadn't seen anything like
That was your uncle?
Yeah, that was my uncle.
And you were a small boy at this time.
yeah.
And you're looking at uncle doing that, you're like, wow, that looks
He
cool.
was my mother's brother. So he is the one who inspired me to also begin to sing at home like contemporary. And he's the one who introduced, because as I said, we had Congolese music and then now when we went to Mlowo, we had the Mlowo music. But my uncle came with jazz.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a teenager when I started listening to
Yeah,
jazz.
and you're like, jazz, I
Yeah,
mean, let me try this kind of music.
Yeah, we would just play the records
Yeah.
at home, and then he would sing along. Then we'd also, when he goes away, then I would sing while he was singing, and then that's how I was introduced to jazz. I mean, Tilo from South Africa. Most of the jazz was South African jazz.
Yes.
And also he was also into. At first time I heard of Golden Gate Quartet and the Manhattan Brothers, it was him.
Yeah.
Then also, but at the same time, because Mlowo would pick a signal from Tanzania, would listen to
Tanzanian radio stations.
And I think maybe I don't know whether the advantage of the lake, the sound was very clear.
Yeah, sure, because I
Yeah.
think the waves, they help in that, the medium wave.
So we'd always tune Tanzania, listen Morogoro Jazz Band and there's some jazz band and all the bands from that side and
Yeah.
we'd sing along the music. Because of the Swahili that I come with from Congo,
Okay.
we'd pick some of the Swahili, so we'd sing some of the songs in Swahili.
Yes.
So rumba and all that. Then of course this Manje Manje music became popular at some stage.
In South Africa.
Yeah, even before Manje Manje, I always say that Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, they are all part of the music at that time. It's just that until the whites discovered him in the 90s, then he became a hit. But for us in the 80s,
You knew them way before that.
with the Bogart Brothers and all those guys. And then this Manje Manje came up. So when you are listening to music, contemporary music, as a child, you're living in a village and you haven't seen anybody playing electric guitar on stage, you haven't seen a band in your life, you didn't connect that I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just thought these are things that people do elsewhere.
Elsewhere, and then...
So we just sang in the village. It's only when my other uncle, who you might know, is Roger Nkwasi, who
Yes,
was
yes.
an MD That's,
Yes.
Yeah, that's the sixth born in my mother's family.
Ah.
Yeah, my mother's firstborn is six. He was in Zambia.
Okay.
So when he was also singing in some band in Zambia. So when he came from Zambia, he would show us some of his pictures and some of the things that. Then that's when it dawned on me that so actually a person can actually sing in a band.
Yes.
But also the people into secondary school, they would come with songbooks and pin-ups of art of musicians. So they would tell us stories about. Then I started becoming inquisitive. So by the time I went to secondary, by the time I went to Mzuzu primary school and I moved from Malawi, I came across. That's when I watched a band coming from Blantyre. They performed Mzuzu. So I said, these guys. Then I got excited. I said, I'm going to play in the band.
But this time you had not played any musical instrument at all. You were just singing.
No,
I mean, just like another.
You'd pick a guitar,
just a
bango,
the banjo and then pluck
three strings, and you play whatever you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when did you decide to go proper stuff and okay? I think I can.
I made the decision when I was in primary school.
Okay.
And I think from that time on, I did not have time for school. When I went to school, I was thinking I want to go and play in the band. And again, I didn't see the connection between music and finishing Form 4. I didn't see the connection. That was my biggest struggle when I was in secondary school. I was wondering, why should I stay in school for 4 years to go and sing in the band? Because I had no other. For me, any other career made no sense. And I didn't.
Did you finish Form 4 at all?
No, I didn't. I was kicked out. I'm a school dropout.
What? You never pitched up for classes? You were just busy?
Well, I think I did not. No matter what you did to me, I would not have finished school. Because
how?
Because my head was full of music, and I did not have.
You were too obsessed with music.
I think that's how I'm wired up. There was nothing else that found space in my head. I was a 24-hour music machine. Wherever I was, there was a song in my head. So whether I'm attending to it or not, that's how I was. And to me, I believe it was a gift from God, and I believe somehow God also didn't want to go away.
Did you drop out, or they kicked you out of school?
They kicked me out, and I wanted them to kick me out.
How did it happen? I'm curious to know.
I knew that there was there are some rules that if you break 7 rules, you'll be suspended. So I broke 7, and I was suspended. Then I was brought back, and then I broke more.
You broke again. Your parents must have been mad at you.
Well, it was actually my uncle Roger who was.
He was like, boy, you need school.
Everybody was saying that, but I don't think I need.
You're like, why do I need school? I can sing.
I didn't, and I don't even think I don't regret. I didn't.
You don't regret it at all?
I wouldn't have worked for anybody. How was I going to work? Because anywhere I was going to go, I was going to want to sing, and I wasn't going to concentrate.
So
and I've had fun. I've enjoyed life. I don't think I wish I was anything else. Honestly.
So. A school dropout. You drop out of school. It's only secondary school, and in those days, I think that's pretty much what everyone was doing: go to school, find a job, and move on with life.
Yeah.
So, how did you manage to put everything together after that? I mean, what path did you follow?
Well, you must know that being a musician in those days is different from today.
Okay.
Yeah. When you dropped out of school, then you also dropped out with parents, and you fell out with parents.
Exactly.
So you already saw yourself as a misfit.
Yeah.
And when you join the band, in those days, music is different today. Every artist is a session artist. He's playing. He's being hired here and there.
Yeah.
In those days, when you join the band was family. So the band that you joined became your family.
Yes.
So we hung around together. We stayed in the same house. We went to play. We bought food and we ate. So that's what we did. And sometimes we swapped clothes, and so so you didn't see yourself like you've fallen out.
That was a new family.
Yeah, that was our family. And also when we mesmerized those who had gone to school and the elite, then we felt well. So we're not.
we are okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying how it used to be.
I can see that. Wambali Mkandawire, our guest today in Cruise 5. Your second song?
My second song. My second song is Ndidi.
Faith Musa. Oh my God. Faith Musa with Ndidi. That's our second song in Cruise 5 today.
Yesu wamaenda ndindidi.
Timaenda ndindidi.
Yekayo wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndindidi.
Timaenda ndindidi.
Timaenda ndindidi. Timaenda ndindidi. Wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndindidi.
Timaenda ndindidi.
Yekayo wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndindidi.
Timaenda ndindidi.
Yesu tunena bano anzanga ndi mapeto. Anamububuda Satana anamufotokoza. Yesu tukamba bano anzanga chitekete. Anamububuda Satana anamufotokoza. Ndiswaga nena ndiswaga wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndiswaga.
Amaenda ndiswaga.
Yekayo wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndiswaga.
Amaenda ndiswaga.
Wenda ndi Yesu timaenda ndiswaga.
Timaenda ndiswaga.
Yekayo wenda ndi Yesu wamaenda ndiswaga.
Amaenda ndiswaga.
Yesu tunena bano anzanga ndi mapeto. Anamububuda Satana anamufotokoza. Yesu tukamba bano anzanga chitekete. Anamububuda Satana.
This is Cruise 5 and today we're talking to Mte Wambali, and he is a pastor with Tizenge Community, but you all know him as a musician, and he's just getting to tell us more about his personal story, how he got introduced to music, and how he dropped out of school because he thought it didn't make any sense. Music made lots of sense. When you did Up and Down the Shire, oh my God, that was a bomb. You had to put together that band, didn't you?
Yeah, I put that band together not because of Up and Down the Shire.
What was happening? What was it about? Tell me
Well,
about it.
as I said, when my producer, Joab, who is my producer, is someone that I toured with in South Africa in 1985
Okay.
as a band. 1986 we toured as a band. So then we parted. I came here, and after 10 years, after I'd done my first album with someone else in Cape Town, then I did my second, third album, as I said, in Scotland. And then I was no longer going out of the country. I was now home. I had come home.
Okay.
And there were no studios that I could record with.
Yeah.
So there were, but I wanted to keep my standards.
Okay.
And I didn't have the resources to go abroad again to record in South Africa. So I did visit South Africa on something else, and then I thought of seeing Joe just to tell him what I was doing. I didn't even know at that time that he had a studio, because I left him he was picking bits and pieces, but I didn't know he was building a studio. And so when I went to see him, and I told him, I want to just, can you listen to some of the stuff that I've done? So he listened to stuff that I did in Scotland. He was like, wow. And so I met him in the studio. So I saw this big studio. I was like, wow, this
is huge. Yeah.
So I said, what does one do to come and record here? He says, just come.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how it started. So I would
Wow.
go. Of course, I would jump on Intercape and
Just go there.
and
Yeah.
so I was using my own resources, go there. And then when I played guitar and sang, he said, I told him that this music is simple. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to have a band, because the other music I've programmed all these big sounds, and I don't have musicians to play this music in Malawi, so I'm not going to do it. But also my concept, my music concept, and where I come from, I can only work with people who understand concept music. But if people come in for money and things like that, I think that freaks me out. So I didn't want to get entangled into managing a band and money thing issues. So I wanted to make music part of my Tizenge project, where I play guitar, and somebody plays a shaker, and we just do sync voices and so on. If we have any keyboards, we just use effect, simple things. That's what I told Joe. But he listened to this when because I would record 3 pieces and say, okay, you come again next time. So I'd come back and I'll just leave 3 tracks with the guide voice and a guitar. Then when I went back, he says, no, this music is international. We need a band. And so I said,
You're making things complicated.
Yeah, I said, no. I said, look, I can't. He says, no, we'll find you a band. So that's how it started. So we started calling some of the top African artists to come and play. And then they would come and play, and then they would go like, oh, wow. So, okay. So he says, after all, we're starting a recording company, so you're going to be our first artist. Yeah.
Wow.
So they said, okay, we'll take over from you. You'll not come by Intercape now, we'll fly you in and everything. So they started paying for everything. And then we, of course, the first show we did in Johannesburg.
Yes.
And then we went and played in Cape Town at North Sea Jazz Festival. I was already aware that the musicians are South African. They will not relate to the music the way Malawians would.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one thing to play as a session artist in the studio where we're guiding. So, okay, that's right. So because even then when they were playing, they didn't play what they wanted. It's what Joe and I wanted. So that it suits the music. He would always check with me. I would say, no, I don't like that. Can we do that? So once we've done that, the only person who really related to the music was George Peary because he's a Malawian.
Yes.
But these Africans were like growing with it as they were playing.
You have to learn this.
Yeah. And the West Indian guy, Steve Thompson, he was a West Indian, but from London. He was in South Africa for a time, so he played keyboard. These related, and of course because Joe has vast the experience of music, West African, East African. You can take anything for Joe, he will interpret it. Yeah. So working with him was very comforting. But the problem was, playing live, I would still sense that it's not holding.
No, yeah.
So there was the singing bit that is supposed to be sung in Tumbuka and Chichewa. So I cannot make those guys sing. So I said, okay, then what I'll do, I should just put a band together in Malawi.
Okay, I see.
But that was a challenge because there was a saxophone in music, and I didn't know any saxophonist.
Any saxophonist in Malawi?
So when I came and I was told of Dennis Riley, that time he was just learning. So anyway, that's another story for another time. But basically, we sat and I started picking people and tried to put together a band. And Joe was surprised when the Malawians can play this. Malawians were doubting that Malawians cannot play this music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but all I did is the album came out and I just invested everything in working with the band until I was happy that they can play what I wanted them to play.
But another which I consider an even bigger aspect of your life is you being a pastor. Something that I think rarely ever comes out in the open, because I think, as we were saying at the beginning, you're a different kind of pastor, and you were already averse to getting all these funny titles. Tell me the story about you turning to God. You said it was 1978?
1978, but before that happened, even as a child, I used to think I was going to be a priest.
You did?
Yeah. Before I even thought I was going to be a musician.
You thought you wanted to be a priest?
If you ask me why, I don't know. But I saw myself one, and I believed it, and I kept it. Sometimes I'd mention it.
Yeah.
And so I believe it was a call, but at that time I didn't know it was a call. And there are many things that I can speak about. I can mention my childhood that were pointing to that, but I didn't. I think when you're a child, sometimes like the story of Samuel, God was calling him. He didn't know God was calling him.
Yes.
Until Ella said, "Hey, now I realize." The Bible says,
"Say it is me."
Yeah. So I think I didn't know to interpret that nudge that's coming from God. I just thought it's me. But it grew. In my teenage years, I lost it, and I got rebellious for many reasons. And then in my band days, I got more rebellious. But God had a hand on me, and when He began to speak to me again, He cut right through the music. And now, but mind you, that God was calling me in ministry, but I was interpreting it at that time that if I'm leaving everything, I'm leaving music and everything else, and I'm going to work for Him, it only means I'm going to be Mbusa, and Mbusa traditional one.
Yes.
So I never saw that God can call you and you can go full time. I'm using that term. preaching and teaching without necessarily being under a particular church.
Yes.
Yeah, but also I was involved in New Life for All and all these ministries that were intergenerational. So that was very much my orientation. By the time I became, I started forming my own ministry, I knew that it's going to be interdenominational. So even when you hear that I was pastoring a church in village, I'm using words because I handed it over. It's not because I wanted to start a church. I was setting up this concept of a community.
What concept was it? It's now you're saying it's Tizenge Community?
Yeah.
What is that? I mean,
If you're in Tizenge Community, you'll be thinking that you'll go there, you'll find a community of people.
yeah,
And
that's the imagery that
they're there,
is
but
great.
they are not. We haven't started in a sense that you could say that we have now formed the community the way I want it to be. We're just a loose community where we're working together. The idea was that I felt the Lord was speaking to me about the fact that the church in Africa is spiritually bound because it's financially bound. And so at that time, it was in the 80s when that revelation got me. And the understanding at that time, you thought it is because, okay, as a Baptist at that time, the understanding was that people who finance the church, okay, whether they're Assemblies of God from America, they are the ones who make the rules and so on. That's how I understood it, which is true. And then so and Africans are unable to really pursue and understand God the way He wants them to understand things, addressing things from an African perspective. So that was how I saw it. But later on, I came to discover that even it is not just most of churches now in the independent. They are not being financed from outside. We have a lot of churches in Malawi now that.
Yes.
But I've come to realize that also meant Malawians who have money control the church. A lot of churches are controlled by people with money.
How are they?
Oh yeah, they are. And
Like they fund them or what?
no, they fund them. They help the pastors and so on. There are a few pastors who can resist money. There are a few pastors who can rebuke a person who was giving them money. So so there's still in some ways pastors are held ransom. I don't mean all pastors, but and
they have a church to run and they don't have the money, and someone says, "Hey, I've got the money," and then they're like, okay.
That's why they've even developed a theology which to me is not biblical, which says we work with the government of the day. There's nothing in the Bible like that. You don't work.
No, the Bible says you should respect your rulers.
Respect doesn't mean working with the government of the day. The church is under the kingdom of God. It has to work for the kingdom of God.
There isn't anything wrong with working with the government.
No, I don't.
Okay?
I mean, as a theology, you can work. What the church must do is it must work. It must do what God wants it to do, and the government can ask the church to assist where it can. But the church should not go and submit to the government to say we're going to work with you, because we don't have to do that. The government
it's opportunism that makes people
most
do that.
Most of it is.
Because they're trying to find a way to survive.
Exactly. And also the track record is that when they go there, they don't, it's a government that calls the tune. Now, you must understand that I'm not particularly pointing at this government. This tendency has been there.
Yeah.
And even if anybody in this government thinks I'm talking about them, once they go out, they're going to complain about the same thing. These pastors will switch to another government. So to
work with the government of the day.
Yeah. So that also destroys our neutrality. I think for me, what we should do is that we should say, I'm available. So when you're available to anyone who calls you. They don't have to be government. And we should be able to do what God calls us to do, independent of government or anybody. But if I'm called today, if DPP calls me, and there's something they think I can help with, I should go there, but with an independent mind. They should not control me. If UDF calls me, I should go there and help. But I should not think I'm UDF now as a pastor. I'm DPP, and but I can vote for a party. I can vote for a party. I can even help the party.
I want us to explore more about this Tizenge community philosophy.
Well, the idea for me was, in fact, even when I'm mentioning it, I'm like, it's things that I keep to myself. What I believe is that Malawi is predominantly rural.
Yes.
Now, we've been a Christian nation in quotes for many years. Now, at the time when I got born again in 1978, to now, there are so many people that have been reached with the gospel. By now, we should be in the villages, establishing work in the villages. But what is happening? Everything is centralized in towns. Pastors are in towns, bishops are in towns. We raise the money, it comes to the central place. We go and we take the money of the poorest people in the villages so that we come and pay bills in town. For me, what I believe is that we should come from town, go to the village, work with people in the village. And whatever they themselves are doing to earn a living, we should be involved in that to understand what people are going through. Once you understand that, if you get stuck, then how can you tell people of a God who can make them make a breakthrough, if you can make a breakthrough there? So we, the servants of God, must go there and see this place where people have got, there's no industry that we are trying to preach to and disappear. Because the idea of this hit and run ministry is not honest. Because that's what NGOs are doing. That's what they go there, hit and run, and they go. And they tell them, you've got trees, you can grow vegetables, and we come to town. We are the ones who went to Bunda, we are the ones who learn all these things. Why can't we go there and plant the trees and show them what we can do?
Let's do some music now. What is the third song going to be?
Sarah Lieberman, Esh Ruchacha.
Sarah Lieberman with Esh Ruchacha. You better learn some Hebrew now, because this is what this song is all about. It's all in Hebrew. This is Cruise 5, and today we are talking to Mte Wambali Mkandawire, a pastor with Tizenge Community, and he lives outside Mzuzu. Where exactly?
It's a place called Mbowe.
Okay.
It's It's only 15 k's from Mzuzu.
Okay.
But
Why are you there?
because that's where God has sent me. That's where the people are.
What kind of life do you live at that place?
I live in a house that I built.
Yeah.
There's no electricity.
No electricity.
There's no running water.
How do you live a life like that?
It's the best.
Is it?
Look at your black house. I don't
You don't worry about blackouts anymore.
No, I don't miss this.
How do you run your ministry living in a place like that?
I mean, what's the problem?
Now, I mean, like, you have to communicate with the world.
Why?
You need to communicate with the
You
world.
are communicating. I do come out. I do.
What are you running away from? Hiding
I'm
in
not
that
running away
place?
from. That's the best place to be because I want to train people
Okay.
in the Word of God to just be practical in their lives.
What do you think about the way this country is being run? Are you a happy man living in our country now?
Very.
You are a very happy man.
I'm a very happy man.
You're content with everything that is happening.
There's nowhere in the world where you can be content with everything. What I am, I'm not a reactionist.
What are you?
I believe in prophetic. Being prophetic is to see what is coming.
Okay.
So you should see things coming before they start happening. So when they happen, these are symptoms. So if you always react, you become... I think if I was a politician, then I would react. Because it's proper. I should say that. I would react. Because you have to address things that people are dealing with. If you are in the situation that I am, our job now is to help people to see ahead. It's very hard to for a politician to tell people to see ahead. Because when politician deals with people, we discover that people are always talking about today. So he has to address what is happening now while you're making mid and long-term plans. There are things that I'm required to do as an individual. I should be doing that. There are people that I'm with, I should be addressing that. Now, if I have something to offer to the government, if they see that I can offer. But I cannot go and knock at the doors and say, you people are not doing this and the other. When I have my space, what am I doing in my space?
There are men of the cloth who have chosen to speak out when things
Yes.
go wrong in the country.
That's fine. That's what I'm saying, that it's also a calling. For me, I'm telling you, I'm living in the village.
Okay.
And I address the government from that village. What am I trying to achieve? Can I tell the truth? I've done my part. When we're changing this government, I was in the forefront. There's a place where we stop, we leave it to others.
What was your involvement in changing the government at that time?
Well, there was a lot. Those that I worked with, they know.
What did you do?
For me, even before the change came, we started singing. People like Du was doing plays. Some
Yes.
of us, yes. We started doing things like that. Eventually, Agenda Forward were in the forefront and campaigning. I was on the platform. And we did what we were supposed to do.
Were you a member of a political party?
Well, I wouldn't call myself a member, but I voted and I was active.
You were active in politics?
Not active in an official way, but as a citizen. I will again say, I don't have issues, as far as I'm concerned, with individuals. See, I avoid, because if I was a politician, then I would tackle individuals. If I was a politician and I'm an MP, and I see that somebody is messing up in my constituency, if it's a chief, I'll be mentioned by name. If I was standing as a president, and or I was standing, or I was a minister, and I'm a minister of education, or I'm going to stand as an MP, and I'm concerned about education, and education is being messed up, and the minister of education is there, I would actually attack that minister. I hope you get me.
I get your point.
Yeah. So because that's my job, I'm seeing the education is going to dogs. I'll stand up and I'll speak. If I was standing as president, I'll do the same, because I'll want to take the country to a certain level.
Yes.
So I'll see if the president is messing up, I'll mention it. I'll say, look, this president is messing us up, and I'll mention it. What we are facing in Malawi is a moral crisis.
Okay.
It's a moral crisis. That's what we're faced with. So if we cannot challenge, because, okay, you can have your development, you can have your money and so on. If it's all stolen, what's the issue? What's the problem? What's the point? If it's all going to be stolen, what's the point? You can have all the medicine you want to have. If there are no systems to stop the stealing, what's the point? So what we need is moral authority. Moral authority should come with a person who has moral authority himself. And there should be people who are transparent. So at the top leadership, you need a person of moral authority. Then around him, you need people with moral authority. We need role models. We need examples of people who can be trusted with the resources. But if we're going to have people who are stealing, it doesn't matter. And people cannot stop stealing because it's in their nature. And that's what I'm saying. You need Christ to change people's hearts. Now, that's I'm speaking to you as a gospel preacher, that without Christ changing their hearts, they can tell us all the good policies, nothing will happen. Now, I can even take you on the political stand. Do you know that Malawi has got a lot of good policies that it doesn't practice? Implementation is zero. Now, you might think I'm only talking about politicians. Politicians come from you and me. They come from this piece of cloth that you and me come from. Now, you and me, how many of us can honestly say that we are against corruption in our own day-to-day experiences? If you and I can steal today, what will change if I go in politics? Are we surprised? This stealing and this bribery and all the corruption is happening at every level of our society. And what you do when you vote a person in, he's just been transferred from one arena to another.
So and then we steal more and steal better.
Yes, and they are closer to the treasury. Then we are surprised. No, we shouldn't. Because if you and I cannot tell each other that this stealing is wrong, how do you expect me to go and rebuke a president? If you tell me that there's nothing else we can do,
it's a lot of money after all.
So this, to me, I'm not going to waste time talking to the president. That's what I'm saying, that I think I do respect those who do that work without calling.
Yes.
I am addressing, I'm talking to you and me. I'm talking to you and me. I can tell you, even in my village, I see NGOs come, they set up things, and I see NGOs stealing things. I see chiefs stealing things. And I go and I address things, and everybody says, Abas Mumum. I've been a board member, I've sat in boards, I've reported things. I can take you to a white elephant today that money was stolen. And these are international organizations. Now, do you think it's only Malawians? The international people themselves.
They're stealing as well.
They're thieves, yeah. It's a pity that we're using fancy words that corrupt. Somebody said in Rwanda how they started addressing these things. They were calling it, some people said, instead of calling it corruption, let's call it stealing. Because corruption sounds very fancy.
This minister stole money from...
No. Yeah, they stole money. Yeah. We should not say
they involved in corruption.
No, they misuse funds. We should say they stole money. Then the ones who steal should be called thieves. Not corrupt leaders. Exactly. Because when people...
So a president...
Yes, even their children, when they're benefiting from that, they should know that my father is a thief, my mother is a thief. That's the only way. Yeah. So then we sit down and discuss, is stealing good? No.
Mbava. Sasa waziphuphu ya. Amene ndiye mlendo watu lero mu Cruise 5 Mte Wambali Mkandawire. Tisankhe nyimbo ina. Nyimbo ina ka nyimbo yanji.
It's by El Icha Ashuv. It's another Hebrew song.
לשוב אליך גם אם קשה תהיה לשוב להיות בזרועותיך הדרך בסופה אחיה אז אשוב אתן לך את חיי כל פינה שבליבי את נפשי שם אתה לי בקיומי אז אשוב שבליבי את נפשי, שם אתה לי בקרבי, אתה שם איתי. רבות הדרכים אותה ניסיתי, וכולן הלכתי טועה. רבים הקולות להם הקשבתי, אך כל אחד דיבורים. אז אשוב אשוב אתן לך את חיי, כל פינה שבליבי את נפשי, שם אתה לי בקרבי. אז אשוב אשוב אתן לך את חיי, כל פינה שבליבי את נפשי, שם אתה לי.
Music in Malawi, how would you define it? Because some people say, oh no, we don't have an identity. Where is our music? We're busy copying music from all over the place.
It's unfair to say that young people now have managed. You see, it's a sweeping statement. I think that we should give a credit to these young people. They have tried. They have tried to blend what to them they believe is Malawi music.
Yes. So you find some manganje beats and they fuse it with the
It's
modern
not-
bits.
That's what we said when I think in the 90s. We had to say that because it's true that everybody was trying to copy reggae and kwasa kwasa and
Yes,
so
yes.
on. So we had to say that. But after people are changing, you can't continue to say the same thing.
No.
Because I sit sometimes just listen to the radio, and this young man who's coming up with something that is more contemporary and it's nice, it sounds like R&B, at the same time it's Malawian. And give him credit. I mean,
Yeah.
we cannot continue to say they're not doing anything. They are doing a great job.
So I see you are quite a huge fan of Faith Musa. Are there any other Malawian artists that you think are doing a great job?
Okay, if you see, there's a side of me where I will speak as an artist. Okay, as an artist, I do appreciate people like what Tay Green does.
Yes.
You know, there are things that Tay Green has done which shows the artist in him. You know, so in the different genres.
Yes, yes.
I mean, and my man is Eric Palian. Eric Palian.
Oh,
yes,
that guy is amazing.
Yeah, what he does. So they are artists. I mean, even what Lawi came up with, it came with some beautiful things. So
And I like Lawi's music. I mean, it's quite funny and humorous.
I haven't
sometimes.
listened to the new album, but the first one, I think he did an excellent job. So there are artists out there. Some of them actually I don't, because these days I hardly listen to the radio. But sometimes I just hear a song. I say, hey, who is that? And I don't even know the names of these young artists. In fact, they come to me. They say, I'm so. So they think I will remember because they're. But I'm like, oh my boy, I don't listen to the radio anymore, so I feel bad. But if I connect the artist and the song, I'm like, wow.
It starts making
So
sense.
you are the one.
Yes.
You know, so there are young people who are doing amazing stuff.
We have to wind up now, and I'll ask you your last choice. But before we get to that, just a set of questions that I wanted to ask you, which you can only answer yes or no to. So what is your full name?
It's Mte Wambali Mkandawire.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Do you have any piercings?
No.
Do you have children?
One.
Have you ever shot a gun?
No.
Have you ever cried over someone?
Plenty.
Have you killed a chicken before?
Kade.
Have you gotten into a fight before?
I don't even remember.
He can't remember if he's gotten into a fight before.
I'm sure in my school days I did.
Have you gotten any surgeries?
Yes, twice this year actually.
Oh, really? Is this something you're ready to tell us about?
Yeah. It was an enlarged prostate.
Okay. All right. I hope that went very well.
I did. I had a major one and a minor one.
Okay. So, have you ever been hospitalized?
Yes, because of that.
Have you donated blood?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever smoked weed?
Oh, plenty in the past. If I knew Christ.
Have you ever drunk alcohol?
Plenty in the past.
Have you broken someone's heart?
Oh, plenty.
Have you had a crush on someone?
Yes, it happened.
Have you ever accepted a bribe?
Have I ever accepted a bribe? I don't remember. But I could in those days. I could.
Before we wind up, there is a challenge that I'd like to take up. Because I do listen to your music quite a lot, and I must say I'm a huge fan of your music, and I wanted us to do a song together. Is this something that you think we can do?
Sure.
All right. So we're going to do a song with Mte Wambali Mkandawire, and this song is Muli Nane. It's a deep and powerful song. Charolero kwa fipa ndima watibenekerera warwani wahawa wakuni wenda wenda jisuliri paine wari mpaka nayo kuware kweni chintu chimoza icho ine ngumanya chakuti muli nane muli nane para satana wakwizana vyake wazamwerera yeka nanga uli ninga wavya ivyo wakutemba wanyane chiuta muli nane kumanya muli nane muli nane muli nane para satana wakuponya mivwi wazamwerera yeka nanga uli kulwa ngondo ine nirije kumanya chiuta muli nane chiuta muli nane. Wakukaka marango ndiwo wari mhazi kuswaso wakutnyegezga naho ise kuti ndifetifiske wandijimira mbuna nakunkwema kuti niwemo kweni chintu chimoza icho ine ngumanya chakuti muli nane muli nane para satana wakwizana vyake vizamwerera yeka nanga uli ninga wavya ivyo wakutemba wanyane chiuta muli nane chiuta muli nane muli nane muli nane para satana waponya mizinga yiti mwerere yeka nanga uli kulwa ngondo ine nirije kumanya chiuta muli nane mukuti muli nane